Hey, this is Brian Hegney, instructor of game design here at High Point University. And we just created a moving door. I kind of showed how you could switch up the main components of that door to kind of make it fit your overall level design. And now we're going to take a look at a slightly more complicated version of the door, which is the platform. And you'll see why it's more complicated. For right now, I'm actually going to delete this. I'm also going to just have a little bit of fun and maybe set up my scene a little bit more so that I'm going to alt-click, turn this around. I'm going to, or make a duplicate, I'm going to set up a door here. And kind of move that door here. I'm actually going to take this door and scale it wider so that it actually fits the scene. This is another great idea with blueprints. A great thing about blueprints is, again, you can slightly manipulate them to fit your exact needs for this level. Let's just say it's like that. That looks kind of nice. And I am going to want its door location end to be up here. Sure. I think that should be good. That should be good. Okay. And what's going to happen is I'm going to go through here and I want there to be an elevator that will bring me up to this component, to this level. So let's go ahead and do that. In my BCH blueprints, I'm going to create a new blueprint. I'm going to start from scratch so we can go through it from scratch. I'm going to create an actor blueprint. And I'm going to call this BH platform underscore BP. Just going to call it BH platform. Double click it to open it up. It's empty. I'm going to add, I will add the cube. I am going to squash it in the scale, so that'll be 0.1. Whoops, 0.1. This will be 2 and 2. Now, I can't remember if that's a good size or not, so what I'm going to do is compile it, save it. I didn't really need to do that. And drag this into my world here. Okay, there we go. That's not bad. Is it? I think it needs to be 3, a scale of 3. So let's go ahead and scale that. 3 in the X, 3 in the Y, 0.1. How about 0.2 in Z, just for fun? Is that a little, that's fine. You know, I don't like how close these are, so let's go ahead and just say 2.5 scaled. I think that should be a little bit make more sense in scale-wise. Okay, there we go. And I'll just set it there, the far end. So there's that. The next thing we need to add, what do you remember we need to add? We need to add a collision, a box collision. If I accidentally call it a trigger box, it's because there is a trigger volume. I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to call this I'll call it collision underscore platform. I'm going to call cube, I'm going to go ahead and call it platform. We can rename anything in here. And, so over here you can see in the place actors window we have volumes, and there's something called a trigger volume in the end, and this is how the level blueprint can actually access whether or not you run through something. Well, we'll get to that later. Oh, I'm going to select it and delete it. Okay. So we've got our trigger volume, and honestly our trigger volume needs to be a little bit bigger, so I'm going to select the collision platform, use the box extent, to make it a little bigger. Now, here's where this is going to be a slightly different. Let's make it, is that 120? 120, 120, and then how about 45? That should be fine. It doesn't really need to be big because, again, we're going to be, our feet are going to be on the bottom, so it actually could be smaller. I just want to be able to see it. What's going to happen is we want this to kind of follow the platform, and you'll see why. I will deal with that later, though. No, let me show you right now. I'm going to make 2 of these. So let me compile and save this. Now, one of these, I'm just going to make a quick copy by right-clicking on the BH platform BP and saying duplicate. I'm just going to keep this BH platform BP1. I'll call this copy so I don't get confused. Copy, there we go. Now in BH platform BP, I'm going to drag the collision platform into the platform, and when I do that, the collision becomes a child of the platform. And so if I take the collision and move it, I can move the collision fine. If I select the platform and move the platform, the collision comes with me, and I don't even have to worry about keeping that up to date. So why would I even do that? Well, if I use the trigger volume to move the platform, you see I'm moving the platform, the trigger volume comes with the platform. If I select this copy where I didn't do that and I move the platform, it's just, you know, the trigger volume remains down there. And what I want to do is I want the, you'll see why I want the trigger to follow along with me. So I'm going to delete that copy. Oops, first I need to delete it from the scene. Save all. You'll see why. If you delete any object from the content browser, Unreal Engine really wants to make sure, oh look, this is even telling me it's bad. Some of the assets being deleted are still referenced in the memory. Let's force delete it. Okay. Alright, that's fine. This is up. Oops, wait. Platform, I forgot. Yeah, keep in mind whether you're moving a platform or a component of your actor or the actor itself. Very different things. Okay. Collision platform. What I'm going to do is say on component begin overlap, and I'm going to ask myself, I'm going to do a branch, and I'm going to take that other actor, and that's the thing that hits it, and I'm going to say, let's see, get object name, and its return value, I'm going to say, does it contain, whoops, not that contain, does it contain a string of character? There's other ways to do this. This isn't the only way. And if it does contain that, I'm going to create a timeline called elevator go up. And that name is from the Looney Tunes, I believe. I'm going to call this rise. I'm going to create my nodes here. I'm going to make sure it's a 1 second animation. This first one is going to be a time 0, value 0. The second node is going to be time 1, value 1. Oops, didn't make it to the value. There, oops, there we go. Kind of zoom extent there. Now we've got this actual curve in quotes. It is a curve. It's just a straight curve. And I'm going to drag my platform here and drag it out and say set relative location. It's going to be updating this, and you're going to go new variables, and I'll say platform begin, but it's not a Boolean, it's going to be a vector, and I'll say another one, platform end, it's another vector, compile this. I'm going to drag this out and say lerp. lerp vector, it's going to go from begin to end along this alpha. We need to make sure we say event begin play. We can set platform begin, and we are going to set it to get relative location of this particular static mesh. There we go. And platform end is going to be a public variable. Let's save that, and let's expose that 3D widget into my scene so that I can see where it is. Now when I come down here, I should be able to see my platform end. There it is, and let's drag it up here. Now, I think that should work. Where am I? There I am. It should. Yep, and we have this thing, and it works. There it goes. Now it doesn't go down, right? And why doesn't it go down? Because I didn't set that up yet. So let's go ahead and set that up. The other thing I didn't do just for funsies is I did not allow us to see the cube by unchecking hidden in game. Okay, now I can see it. Whoops, didn't mean to move it. Back in our platform BP, we're going to select our collision. Whoops, select our collision and scroll down here and say on component end overlap. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to check to see if it's us that's not overlapping it, and it's going to use a branch for that. So I'm going to say get object name. I could do class as well. Contains, and does it contain character? And if this return value is true, then we are going to, then we are going to reverse from, we're going to reverse there. Let's go ahead and bring this down. Okay. Now I think that should work. Let's compile that, save it. Oops, I gotta turn myself around and move me so I'm actually in a nice spot. There, yay. Let's come here. It should come up, and when we get off of it, it should go down. Yep. Same thing, it's coming up. We could actually get off of it like this. There we go. It looks like there's a delay. I'm not sure what the delay is. So I'll figure that out. It must have... That's really weird. Not sure what the delay is. I will figure that out in a moment. But that's essentially what we need to do. Does it have anything to do with being there? Is it too tucked into the wall? That's what I'm wondering. So this works fine. We come here. Not sure what's going on there. Hold up. Oh, okay, so I don't know necessarily why it was doing this, but what I ended up doing to fix that weird glitch was that I made my trigger volume a little bit taller. I think my gun must have been going in and out of it, and somehow it was glitching. I don't know. That's what I think. Me making this collision taller, now I'm not getting any of those weird misfires, right? It goes up. If I go backwards, it goes down, goes up, goes down. So this is a really helpful platform, and this can allow us to, to work with this. In the next video, I'm going to add a little bit more functionality, so stay tuned for that.